Welcome to the Entrepreneur for Life podcast. I'm your host, Gideon Webb, the place for young entrepreneurs and old entrepreneurs to get some tips and tricks, cheat codes to this thing called entrepreneurship. Today, I have a wonderful guest, good friend of mine, a individual who I've had a chance to work with directly, but also I've got a chance to see her kind of grow in the field of media. Just Bri.
Hey.
What's happening with you?
What's popping?
Good.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. It's nice to have you. Off top, happy Women's History Month.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm trying to make some history myself, you feel me? And also celebrate the women that came before me and that's with me right now.
Speaking of that, are there any women in media who have influenced you to do what you do?
Locally, I would have to say Steph Crosley was like one that I seen. She was the first female host I ever seen in the clubs. And I was like, oh, she's dope, you know? So that's one. My friend Carrie, we're like peers in this, like we're on the same track. But she is one that I look up to as well because I'm like, dude, you know, you're out here doing your thing. And nationally, of course, Angela Yee. I get compared to her a lot because I worked for iHeart before, but
oh, word. That's
Angela
a good comparison.
Yee,
she's
I don't
dope.
even hate. I'd be like, yes, call me Angela Bri. So she's been influential. I had a chance to talk to her as well, and she's a really dope person in real life. It's a lot of people. Lala Anthony is my number one, though. Word.
That's what's up. Is for the listeners that don't know a little about you, tell us what you do.
So my name is Just Bri. Brianna McQuay is my real name. I am a radio host, a podcaster, entrepreneur myself. I own my own beauty supply delivery company right now. I do a lot. It's a long list of things.
Right. No, I see you on the move, and that's why you're here.
A DJ, club host. Like,
yeah, I know. I was gonna tap into all of that, but that's why you're here because you're an entrepreneur who's tapping into a lot of your talents, and we don't want to breeze over none of those. So we'll go back to the first one, which you said was a radio personality.
Yes.
And I'd like to know how you got started doing that.
Ooh, so.
Or where's that passion come from?
That passion. You know what? This one is a natural talent. Like, DJing was not a natural talent for me. And some people can say that. But that wasn't natural for me. I'm a natural talker. I'm a natural speaker. And even in high school and when I got into college, I noticed people would really listen to me. Like a whole, you know, how you in the theater, you know, thing where you're doing your initial discussions in college. Whole class going silent. Like, you know how you answer a question, but it's thousands of kids in your communications one-on-one class, but everybody stops and listens.
Right.
When I talk, I was like,
effect.
It was scary. I used to be like, what just happened?
I be feeling like motherfuckers talk over me too much. Like I know I have that a little, but it's something missing because I be talking sometimes. Like I gotta raise my voice. Like I gotta. I'm not one to like talk over people, but keep going. That's
you got to use those elbow words. You know how it's like move, get out the way. Like you got to use the professional words. Like excuse
everybody
me.
Talking, I'm over here trying to say some shit.
Right.
No, I feel that. That's a wonderful talent to have. So you saw that early.
Yeah. So when I was leaving high school, I had graduated a year early because I was like, well, this is pointless. I'm not going to keep going to classes and like what? Like I'm going to be here and then I'm going to get a half day. No, I'm going to graduate early.
Okay.
So, and I was working at Zoomies in the mall and I was applying for different podcast scholarships and stuff because I had my podcast, the group chat. And I love doing that. I love talking about it. So when customers would come in, I was slanging that podcast like it was dope, okay? I was giving out flyers like, oh, it's dropping Drew first. This is 2007.
Oh, wow.
To 2018 because I graduated summer of 2017 and then 2018 I was still, you know, making a way for myself.
Yeah, but you kind of early on it. I think a lot of people just now getting into the podcasting, and so where'd you get that? How'd you get hip to podcasting, and what made you like really go through with it? Because everybody want a podcast, but to actually do it, takes some commitment. So the idea really came from just listening to podcasts myself. I was big into audiobooks for forever. And then some of my favorite authors started having podcasts to talk more in depth about their books. Okay. So I was, I
I was on a podcast where they were breaking down, the book Beloved is one of my favorite books ever. And they had the actual author on, and I was like, oh, I definitely want to get on this podcast. So I called, email, text, and so I could ask her questions. And I realized from there, like, oh, I'm kind of a natural interviewer. Like, and she was like, oh, these are great questions. And even now, sometimes, like, she wasn't the author. I have to reiterate that. She was actually the remaster, because Beloved is kind of an older book, but she remastered it, and she knew the author personally because she was the older lady. But yes, that's how I kind of figured out about podcasts, and that's where I started.
So then, how did that transition into radio?
So I'm out here slanging my podcast like dope at Zoomies, like passing out flyers and everything. And a popular radio host from V100, the main drive, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., he came in. And I pitched myself. I knew what a elevator pitch was because I had went to like Marquette University, Upward Bound, and that's something that they taught us.
So for our listeners that don't know what an elevator pitch is, just give them a quick. What's an elevator pitch? So an elevator pitch is everything that you can offer somebody else. It has nothing to do with what you want from them. It's absolutely, hey, my name is Brianna McQuaid. I have my own podcast. I'm here doing this, and the third. I have this capability. I know how to work this software technology, and I think that would be a great fit for you and your company. Boom. End it. Done.
Yeah.
Quick.
Super quick.
Keep that thought where we were at. You're meeting this person tomorrow. Have you ever been in the elevator with somebody and had to give them a pitch, like literally?
Yes.
You have, right? Me too, right? You in the elevator like, yo, I gotta go. Like, I gotta give them this.
Or if you ever been to the iHeart Studios here, it's a hallway until we get to like the actual studio.
Yeah.
So what I would do is like, I gotta make it happen from like here to here because now they're just with me.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna be silent while I'm walking Capitol Records A&R to where they need to go. Or a president of such and such, or even when I met the mayor.
Missed those moments? Like, missed a moment where you was like, damn, I should have said something.
Nope, I think I took every shot. Like, that's one thing.
That's what's up.
That's one thing. No, I took every shot. And I probably embarrassed myself on some of them because, I stutter. I roll over my words just like anybody else. But
you take the shot.
Take the shot, though.
It's good advice.
I thought I did bad one time, but I ultimately got a job from it. So...
All right, so back to You Hustling Podcast. You meet this radio guy.
And I told him, like, hey, listen, I want to come to the studio. I want to see what you do, if that's possible. And he was like, okay, come Friday. So happily, Friday was my birthday, June 1st, 2018.
Oh, wow. So hold on, Gemini.
Yes, I am. I'm a Gemini.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of Geminis up in here.
Listen, I love my Geminis. I feel like we're the dopest sign. I just got to put it out there.
All right.
But it was so happily my birthday, and I was like, okay. I mentioned nothing about it being my birthday. I mentioned nothing at all. I was like, oh, this is my opportunity. So I went in. And I still have my first ever radio air checks. They sound horrible. Horrible. That first day I was there, I still have that.
Wow. So the first day you're getting some hands-on experience.
Yeah.
Right away.
But everybody expected me to, that was just it. That was just my last day. Nah, every week, every day, I was calling like, hey, can I come today? Hey, can I do this? Can I do that?
Word.
I volunteered for 9 months before I ever got the job.
Wow.
And I was consistent. I was calling into my real jobs at the mall because I worked 3 at the mall all at the same time and volunteering. So if I really wanted to be at the radio station, I'll call off that money. And I'd be like, you know what? I'll be good. I just need to go and do this because I saw the future in that more so than I saw the future in folding clothes or doing people makeup in the mall. So I just left.
So many jewels in that. I'm trying to rewind to unpack it a little bit. That's a lot of jewels in that you just spit out.
And I appreciate that because at 22, I don't think people. At times, I think people shortchange what I've been through or like what I've experienced in such a short amount of time. Because they're like, you only 22, girl. You don't know what you're talking about. But I do though.
Yeah.
Like
you put the work in.
I can tell you how to get that job.
No, yeah, no.
Like I can tell you how to maneuver that room.
Working 9 months for free in order to get to where you want in your career that's work. You can't.
And I wasn't promised anything. Nobody kept saying, "Oh, you're gonna get the job. You're gonna get it." Everybody was like, "Well, no." There was no.
That's how it always is in the internships, right? And like in those experiences, but you saw value beyond money.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people can't get beyond. everything has to come with a dollar amount. And
unfortunately, right?
Living proof that sometimes it's networking and experience that's just as valuable. My question for you is, during that period, what was your why that kept you going? What kept you going every day? Because you could have fell off. You could have said, I got a little experience, I'm done.
Yeah.
What was the why that kept you going?
Boy, I used to hate Mayfair Mall. Like, Zoomies was my first job, Aldo's was my second job, and Riley Rose was my third job. And
they're all in the mall.
They were all in the mall, and I worked all 3 of them. Because once I started to really volunteer, I also started to learn how to DJ and stuff as well. So I was going to nightclubs. So I would get my outfits from Zoomies, get my heels from Aldo's, get my makeup from Riley Rose.
Okay.
All discounts, like all great discounts that I was like,
right.
I'm going to use this to my benefit. But going back to those places after being on the Boosie stage, talking on the mic, meeting Boosie and everything, I'm like, I'm going back here folding shirts when I could be doing that. Well, what's going to get me to that? Oh, this hard work, dedication, and keep going for free. And keep just pounding the pavement, showing people how much I'm worth and that they just don't see it yet. And that's okay that you don't see it, but I'm going to make you see it. Ain't nobody going to outwork me. Like, I always say that because I got that from Diddy long time ago. You're not going to outwork me. You're not. I was so competitive in high school. Like, you're not going to outdance me. I went to the arts. So you're not going to outdance me.
Nothing.
You're not going to outrun track me. Like, I'm going to be in the top 5 at the minimum. And if I'm not in the top 5, just know that I'm in the top 10. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it was always that dedication to knowing, like, I'm great. I'm going to be great. But going to folding shirts, it's like, this ain't what I want to do.
I've been there. I had one of Boston store jobs.
Oh.
It didn't last long.
I'm glad I never got hired at Boston store. I applied for Boston store. I feel like everybody did at some point.
They worked my ass. Didn't last long. I think I got one check and I was out.
Oh, you know what? I lied too. I worked at Dick's Sporting Goods for a little bit.
So you're saying that basically the slave ship grind encouraged you to get to really what you wanted to do, your passions. Like, that was like, I'm not going back kind of deal. Like, it's either that or this. You had to make a conscious decision.
Yes, big time. I don't like being told what to do. Like, that's hard for me in general.
So what kind of things helped you with that decision or transition, like, in your life?
My family. I would talk to my dad every day. I was lucky enough to grow up with my dad in the house. So, like, my mom and dad are still together. I still live with them. I like to save money. Like, I like to keep my money in my pocket.
Right.
But I talk to them every day about decisions because they're my team.
Yeah.
You know,
super valuable.
People say they want this entourage and they want these managers and they want this, they want that. Your first managers are your parents.
Right.
In reality. So I would go to them and I would talk to them like, yo, I'm feeling this way. What is the best way? My dad told me for forever, experience is worth more than money. You can't put how much you made on a resume. They don't give a fuck about how much you made necessarily unless they're trying to match it. But why are they going to match it? What's the reason behind why?
Why would they? Yeah,
because you have the experience.
Your
you have the
family
knowledge.
from Milwaukee?
Yes, they. My dad is from Gary, Indiana, originally.
Okay.
And he moved here when he was.
That's a hard working hustler town too.
Boy, that is the dust right there. I hate going back there. You know, it's abandoned. Like,
it is. Abandoned city. There's some good men that came out of that place, though. You know, good people and women.
Because you had to work for. There's nothing. So what you gonna do? You're gonna work. Like, you're gonna put forth the effort. But my mom has always been from here, but my dad is from Gary, Indiana, originally.
And so that hustler spirit, you think a lot of that you got from your parents?
Definitely. My mom and my dad have been entrepreneurs before. And they have been self-sustaining always. My dad owned his first house at 23. My mom had her own place and her own job by the time she was 20. Never went back home, ever. And she left out at 18. But by the time 20 came around and she had one kid, she knew, like, I'm done with that. I'm going to have my own place. I'm going to have my own security. And that is what it is. And even when she was dating my dad and she didn't have that, that never deterred her. And I remember they always laugh and talk about how my dad asked her to move in with him and she was like, hell no. Because if I ain't got it for myself, I can't expect you to give it to me.
Yeah.
And they joke about that to this day. And how when she was moving in, she was upset. She was mad she gave up her own apartment to move in with my dad. But she was having my brother at the time. And she was like,
sacrifice.
I want to do the family thing.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I think, I also had a good family support system. My mom was more so the entrepreneur than my dad.
Yeah.
And so she taught me a lot of what, the hustle and bustle, and so
it's really
forth,
like.
and what it's like, and the consistency that you got to have a successful business.
Yeah.
For young female entrepreneurs out there like yourself that are interested in the media and are not just interested in one thing, maybe they're interested in multiple things, and that can be quite a challenge too, because it's like balancing all these things. What advice would you give to them?
See the connections and know your connections. Because I've had people tell me, how does beauty relate to media? Mm-hmm. I said, what celebrity has gotten on a TV screen and they have no makeup on? Mm-hmm. What celebrity that hasn't been taken by the paparazzi that ain't got the flyest drip on?
Right.
Who you know?
Right. Fashion, it all goes hand in hand.
We see men wear nail art now. Where are you getting your nail art from? A beauty supply store? Right, regardless of whether you want to think about it or not, Target is one. Mm-hmm. Target has their own beauty section. Walmart does. Walgreens.
One of the biggest industries in America is beauty and fashion. It's transitioning into that. Is that why you got into your own beauty supply?
Because it all connected.
Tell our listeners about it. So yeah. I know, but they don't know very much about what that is you do. On top of everything else. On top of everything else.
So, in spirit of that, right? I would be going to DJ or host, and one of the biggest things was making sure my hair looks right and making sure I have my makeup is good. Because I know I'm about to take pictures. I know I'm about to probably meet a celebrity. I'm probably about to meet somebody who can take my career to the next level. I want to look my best. Gotcha. And that doesn't always necessarily mean makeup. Times I just never put on makeup and went how I was. But I still have my skincare, still have my nail care, properly done. It's just all about the whole you at every twist and turn. I had the knowledge, I had the capability to do media, but I also wanted to bring the look to it as well. All the hip hop girls you see, they ain't looking raggedy, even if it is Rap City. Well, she may not be so sexual, but you think Rap City going out of here looking crazy in the face? No, she ain't.
Not. It comes down to the old saying, image is everything, especially in this business. I mean, it is. If you think it's not, you tripping.
Yeah. So I connected those two. And for other young entrepreneur women that's out there, don't be afraid to. Your connections is your connections. You see it. People may not see it right now, but in the future they will. Come on now, we in the metaverse now. You know how many people thought like phones could never have cameras? Now we got 6 of them on one phone.
Do you think being a Gemini helps you balance all that?
No, I think that makes me crazy sometimes. I think I'd be like, oh my God, like calm down.
They say Geminis are very sporadic workers.
I am sporadic.
That's one of our traits, and it could be a strength considering, a lot of people look at Geminis and be like, how the hell can y'all do all that? Yeah. But for me, it's been a balancing act my whole life. Like, yeah. I do a whole lot of things, and everybody's like, how the hell you do it all? But
so what has been your best way of balancing? Because I think my Gemini side makes me crazy. I'd be like, stop. I'd be like, I'm trying to mature. Like,
trying to do one thing at a time.
Trying to be better. Yeah.
Shit, I think that's kind of my superpower, is being able to do it all and not go crazy. On that note, they say a high percentage of people who are schizophrenic are Geminis as well.
You got to be able to maintain it.
But also, like, I guess breathing, I will break it down to, because I get anxiety and I get the pressure hits me. I get those moments. But over the years, I've learned to just breathe. Yeah. And like, this is what you're here for. Yeah. Almost on some like Bruce Lee shit. Like, I've really learned to master it, where it's like, okay.
Woosah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You in front of 150 people DJing. You said you wanted to DJ.
Right.
What you finna do?
That's big.
What you finna do?
Oh, no, that's big.
What you finna do?
That is extremely big. People don't understand the split-second decisions you make as a DJ, and you're constantly doing it all night for 4 to 5 hours that night, right? Damn, but you done play over 100. You've played over 195 songs, depending on how fast you're cutting it off and mixing in the next song.
Yeah.
By the time you're done, your crates look like shit because you done moved and shifted and made stuff happen. Technology breaking down or boards not working, sound equipment going crazy.
All kind of shit.
Anything can happen, but you're making split-second decisions. You're only playing that Jay-Z record past him saying, you know, it's about to go down. Now you got to get on to your next.
Right,
What's
right,
next?
right. No,
What's next, Bri, in 50 seconds? Like,
no doubt.
It's pressure.
It is. It's the whole time it's pressure.
It's pressure.
Learning how to chill and relax during the pressure, because you don't want to be this guy who's like uptight while you DJing. You want to be able to be nice to people, say hi to people, conversate, but you really in the zone trying to provide the best sound.
Yeah. And I'm an entrepreneur, so I work from home, right? I'm a shitty person sometimes when I be looking at these videos and people like, I'm applying pressure. Bitch, you don't know pressure. You don't know motherfucking pressure. Like, I apply the motherfucking pressure. You want to see pressure?
Yes.
Like, that's how competitive I am. I'll be like, that ain't fucking pressure. Like, you want to see some fucking pressure? Let me put you in front of a stage, give you a mic, and see how well you talk. I've had people try to take mics out my head and watch them drown. I'll be like, here, take it. Do what you gonna do. Let me see how you hype this crowd up. I've made men look down and see if they still have a dick because, yeah, bitch, I'm the man. Like, I'm the daddy. Ooh. You got me fucked up. Ooh. Take this mic. Let's see if you can hype this crowd up.
We need some sound effects. Yo, that was real.
I'm competitive.
In all
I'm
of
sorry.
that, how did you get into the mall, or what made you decide to bring your products into the mall?
So that's also the part
the
of my
mall
personality.
You hate. The mall you said you hate.
Exactly, right? So I said I hate that fit, bitch. I'll never work there again. I said that. Never say never, kids.
Well, then again, now you're working for yourself there.
And that was the change. I was like, you know what? I know Mayfair Mall like the back of my hand, though. You know, I went to school with a minor in business and a major in communications because I thought that UWM communications was going to teach me what I'm doing now. But it wasn't. And that's ultimately why I left and chose a different route. But it legit opened up so many doors for me just being at Mayfair. Like getting into radio and meeting who I met at the time I was supposed to. So I understood the value of it. And I got to see firsthand clientele moving. I'm selling clothes. I was the highest seller for Zumi. I came number 6 nationally. 17. I'm talking about there's 37-year-olds on this list who worked at Zumi's 10 years and had to be store managers to sell. I was working part-time. They thought I was fucking putting money in a drawer or something. They was like, how are you selling over $100K each year?
It's kind of a peaceful person game. You could sell. I was in retail as well, and I would sell shit to people that I just...
You don't even remember. You making up shit. You like, this was worn by Michael Jackson in a Thriller video. This was never worn.
They don't look good in it. You ever saw somebody you know they don't look good in it, but you got to get your commission.
Oh, girl, you look good. Like, you need these shoe insoles, baby. That heel ain't comfortable.
I got a lot of my hustle early in the retail game as well. That's interesting. I moved up to manager as well, and it was that salesmanship that allowed me, I could apply it to business in other places. You know just
seeing how that bigger conglomerate is working just one store. To this day, I'm no longer in Mayfair. I'm doing online and delivery, and we doing well with that, and I have a driver or whatever.
Damn,
but
good.
Thank you. But I still, to this day, my girls are calling me probably at least once a month or sometimes more. I develop personal relationships with them, but I didn't know them from a can of paint. They stopped, asked for an application, whatever. I gave it to them, hired them, paid them well. And they still ask me, hey, Bri, when's the store opening up? Hey, when you getting another location? Because I was a great boss. Because I learned from shitty bosses that I hated. And I was like, you know what? And I do not like using that word hate unless I really feel that way. Unless I really understand why that's a thing for me and why I don't like it. But I was a great boss to them, so much so that they still be like, hey, I will work for you any day. What's your vision? Where do you want to go with this? And that's crucial and important to leading people or being a leader. That there are people see you as an equal. Them girls would tell me about everything under the sun, and I would listen. Right. I was like a sis, to them. And they one day I walked in, they said, hey, we got you cinnamon bun and some food.
Well, you're building loyalty.
Like, what?
And you're building loyalty and putting people before profits. And I think that's what matters. I think that's what make people feel good, and that's what make them want to work. You know.
And I feel like we learned that right from our bigger conglomerates. You worked in retail, you know.
My retail mentor is probably doing time in prison right now. He was so crooked.
Ooh. Oh, I know. I got one of those too. Like, boy, you's a thief.
But for those entrepreneurs out there that are also working a 9-to-5, but also pursuing entrepreneur goals, what was your advice as far as, you know, should they do both? Should they pursue their passion?
You know what? I never want to tell somebody in particular exactly how to work it. Like when I quit your job and do it. Because that's not how I did it. I did wind up quitting. I quit the radio station and everybody was like, and I was like, I made this. And they were like, oh, never mind. Like, I see why you did it. But I think it's very important for you to have a plan. Know your plan. And even when things turn left or it turns right, be comfortable with it and go with it. Because it's for a reason. And you're going to have to be able to make those quick, fast adjustments as time goes on. And you have to be adaptable. So the moment that you feel like, if I pursue my company, my business 100%, I know I can make this much and I know I can sustain my lifestyle and how I'm living, or even downgrade, you know, back to wherever you have to go for a future and a life that you want. Because the main thing is time is more important to me than any amount of money. How much time is this going to take up out of my day? Because I got Just Beauty riding on my back, and who I'm not going to fail is Just Beauty. And the people who invested in it. Whether that's my friends who came and shopped, whether that's my friends who came to say hello, whether that's my family who actually put down their hard cash investment money into this, I'm not going to let that fail. Money is not the biggest thing. Time is. How much time do you have to put towards this? If you're working a 9-to-5 and you're miserable and you're putting in 45 hours a week, what's more important? Now you're weighing happiness and material items.
Right.
Happiness is everything. I may be a little broke at a moment in time. I may be a little broke, but am I happy though?
Right.
Am I thriving? Am I growing? Am I having the time to spend with family that I haven't had since I turned 17 because I was working?
No, that's great advice. I mean, I feel like you're talking to me directly because I work my ass off. I probably need to spend more time with, friends and family. But
this is the perfect time to, though. You know, my family understands. Yeah, this is the perfect time to. You're gonna have the time eventually to spend more. You know,
you're gonna always have time to work.
You always gonna have time to work.
And that's great advice. I think the listeners can take a lot away with that. Like, because as an entrepreneur, you do have goals and passions, but taking a step back and realizing that making money is not the most important thing. Yeah.
I know people like, oh, how do you make money and then put it towards this? Well, that's when you're in your period of time where you're working both. But you have to know when that shit is a cap. Like, that's it. That's done. Now you have to put forth all your effort, all your energy into this, if that's what you're going to do, and be comfortable in that. It took a very long time for me to be comfortable as a DJ to say I'm worth this amount of money. No, my time is worth this. My hosting is worth this. I'm getting girls on the floor doing crazy motherfucking backflips because I'm hyping them up on the mic.
Right.
I got them feeling that energy. I'm down there dancing with them. Like, I bring that to the table. These guys, these men hosts ain't doing that. They standing on the wall. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? No,
I think another thing that's important, I think that you kind of shown from me watching you grow, is the way you leverage social media to kind of promote what you do. You're not just on there scrolling and clicking or just posting memes, but you have content with value. And it all relates to your business and your brand. What advice can you give to listeners out there who are trying to leverage social media to promote their brand?
And you know what, I want to get even better at it. Like, I don't even feel like I'm that good. Thank you, first off. Like, I appreciate that. I think that even when I'm in my goofiest moments, it's all about just showing my personality. Because that's all, I really tell people sometimes, that's all I got. Like, I got a personality that can sell you on just being me. I want to be your friend, I've actually gained friendship through social media. Girl, you funny. Let's kick it. Yes, let's do that. Like,
Gotcha.
And that's important to me, that people who follow me or people who really want connection, because I think sometimes I crave connection to know that I'm real. Like, I'm going to give you the real. I don't really feel like lying, because lying takes too much energy from me, and I'm more of an honest person. Like, I have to tell you,
keep it straight up.
When people say keep it a bean, keep it 100, no, I'm talking about 400 degrees, baby. Like, I'm trying to keep it real with you. And so even if that means me showing my wig flipped up, looking crusty, and
just being yourself,
showing them the product. Let me show you the product that gets me from looking like a busted ass to looking like I just had the best glam in the world. So I want to be real with people. I want to bring people into, like,
I think that's
my
important.
world.
I think that's important, because the people online who don't show that other side are just kind of like, that they're not really connecting.
Yeah.
And so you connect with your viewers, and not only do you connect with them in that way, but then you have a product for them, or a way that they can, spend money with you. So you basically have found a way to monetize your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are searching for that, way that they can make money doing what they love to do, and whether it's helping someone feel a little more beautiful, or making sure they have a great birthday because you rocked it. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people are looking for that in their own realm or world of what they do as an entrepreneur.
It's all about being honest with people. If you're selling body care and you say that this helps with razor bumps, where your razor bumps at? Let me see a bikini line. Like, put it out there.
Right.
Like, that's what I want to see.
Nowadays, right.
I want to see everything. You say that this lightens your knees, let me see your kneecaps.
Right.
I'm trying to see what this is all about.
Good.
It's all takes levels and stuff. But if you telling me that, and if you're telling me that this is the best pleasure item on the market right now,
prove it.
Let me see it. Hire a porn star. Get it popping.
Right.
Put the exclusive on Pornhub. I'm going to watch it. Like, I'll fucking buy it. But if you're telling people this, you got to be ready to back it up.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready to back it up, you're just not ready to be an entrepreneur yet.
Right.
Because people going to come at you. Somebody posted a comment the other day, and it pissed me the hell off.
On your social media?
It said, shut the fuck up. Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yes, the first thing it said was, shut the fuck up. You went to the salon. Because I had posted about, like, how my silk press beauty box at home, like, I silk press my hair by myself. I don't go to the salon anymore because I learned how to do it. And I was saying all these products that I use in my hair is exactly what you'll get at home. And I had to DM her on the side. I'm a professional, and, I'm still hood. So I was like, listen, bitch, don't be posting. Like, what the fuck you talking about? Like, and guess what? I could cuss you out and still be like, let me do your hair. Bring your nappy head ass on, like, and come sit in my chair, and I bet I get this shit
so she gotta
crispy.
respect it.
And me and her laughed about it after that. And I was like, just watch your mouth, But we can laugh.
Yo. I try to ignore the trolls.
Nah, I put them straight on the front street.
At least if you know you got trolls, you're doing something right, because that means people are interacting with you.
Yeah.
For our listeners out there that want to learn more about Just Bri or connect with you, how can they get in touch with you? How can they find you? What's the search words? How do they find you?
I'm really active on Instagram the most, so that's Just Bri, JVST_BRI on all platforms. Facebook I'm okay with. It's the same, Just Bri, JVSTBRI. Or you can email me too. My email is on both accounts, but whatever y'all want, I'm always down to help, teach, learn myself, and also for other people. But at any given time, that's how you can contact me. For sure.
IG. And then, so you're not doing radio at the moment?
No.
Okay.
No,
so
I'm not.
Where can we expect to hear you in the future? You got any?
Really, social media. So, like, I'm still doing my group chat podcast. So you can find that on YouTube. The group chat, MKE, on all platforms. I know you want to talk. You want to talk about radio? And
no, I'm just, you know what? I mean, You sounded fucking great on radio. I'll say that for the record.
You.
Like, you sounded great. When I heard you first on radio, I'm like, oh, she's got it. Like,
I appreciate that.
Y'all agree too, right?
Thank y'all. Thank you.
Yeah. In fact, people started calling you V100 Bri.
Yes, they did. V100 Bri or producer Bri.
Yeah.
You know, and I appreciated that platform a lot.
Yeah.
Because it catapulted me to where I am now. Mm-hmm. You know.
Any thoughts of getting back into radio? I loved radio when I did it. I did it for a bit, mostly in college, but I loved it.
You know, I've had some stations reach out to me, so we're talking. Okay, and that's all I can say right now. Literally some legal stuff, so I really can't talk about it. But yeah, I'm definitely open to it. Like I said, one of my favorite people ever is Lala Anthony, and I love her transition from radio, TV, film, and how she did it. So I really am looking to be on somebody's camera someday.
Okay.
Someday soon, really. Remember I was asking you about, like, what's team name for? You know, but I think I'm a little too, yeah. Yeah,
you know what? You just got to turn it on and turn it off. They always hiring, and especially now in the pandemic, it's a rough business. But we really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Because I know we only scratched the surface, but we don't have that much time. I'd like to check back with you, though, in like a couple months. You know, maybe
I'm pretty sure I have something going on.
See where you at, and see, and you know, look back to the podcast and just kind of reflect, and maybe get some comments and questions from the listeners out there who want to ask her more questions, because we'll definitely bring her on for more questions.
Yeah,
we can delve into. But I definitely think you gave our listeners some value. I definitely think there's a lot of listeners who are out there that are just like you, who are young entrepreneurs, who are feisty and passionate about what they do, who may be balancing a lot of things, and finding their way in their own journey. So I think you were definitely helpful in that.
I hope that everybody takes something out of it, even if anything, take some laughs. You know what I mean? Laughter is good for your health. If anything,
add her on Instagram, because you can follow her and get more of her content. So
a lot more.
Thank you for taking the time to join the Entrepreneur for Life podcast. For our listeners, thank y'all very much. For our studio audience, we got an audience tonight, y'all. We got an actual audience.
We love them. They're doing their own things as well, you know.
We're going to get them up here, actually, for the next podcast. So,
yes.
Thank y'all for listening. God bless. Peace out. Entrepreneurs for Life.